hasn't been following this event. So it's a best of 9 winners league, and this is the map order. I'm not going to read all these out, but crucially, map 2 is Circuit Breakers, map 4, sorry, Circuit Breaker, singular. Map 4 is Wind and Cloud, and map 7 is Electric Circuit. And the reason I point those out is those 3 maps have a 60% win rate in TVZ. So I feel like MBC should try and snipe Hero with C on one of those maps. So, you know, don't send him out prematurely on a non-favorable map. Wait and try and get one of those. So it's probably not going to be Circuit Breaker, because I think STX is going to realize that Hero is quite a good weapon and maybe try and force C out before Hero comes out, which would just be awful for MBC. So they have 3, I think, good opportunities, especially on Electric Circuit. It's just, you know, it's known to be pretty good TVZ, and it is map number 7, so that's kind of a fallback, I guess. Anyway, let me fix this overlay up here. Whoops, C-daisies, that's not what I want to do. Anyway, so I assume these players are the same. We've got P, what is that, 11, Z7. I'm gonna do a good old yellow and red, since Sonic loves his allied colors. Alright, I think this is good. If I'm mistaken, then, well, too bad. Actually, this is kind of bugging me. I'm gonna try and move this down a bit. Wait, where's my... Oh man, my whole overlay is like all messed up. Alright, hold on. Alright, nothing's going down, right? Alright, well that's like an overpull. Alright, that's probably fine. Let me just adjust my thing. Is this box correct? You know, I'm just gonna put that over there for a second. I'm going to... Aha! That's the box I'm trying to move. And we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna cover that up. Seems roughly right. I'm just gonna put that on top. It's a little bit big. That's what she said. Anyway. Alright, Sonic is shouting about something. I don't know what happened. What happened? Nothing happened. He's building a forge. What is he shouting about? Alright, calm down, Sonic. Calm down. I'm trying to make my overlay look less retarded. Man, Sonic's overlay is just like way too small. Oh, I'm just gonna make the back thing bigger. This is annoying. Oh, that looks good. You know, I'm just gonna leave it like that. That seems to be clear, at least. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that for now. Okay, sweet. So we've got 2 cannons already. Pretty standard against overpull, close positions, yada yada. He's also in a position where wall is not ideal on the top left. There's gonna be a pretty big gap on the top, but that's okay. The second cannon is not quite finished yet, but he's got 3 probes there, so he should be fine. Yeah, doesn't look like Terra's gonna try anything. So in the meantime, Mr. Probe Guy is going to go to the bottom right in possibly hopes of delaying the 3rd hatchery, which presumably will be at the bottom right natural, although not necessarily. On Fighting Spirit, Zergs do seem to like taking the close thirds instead of the faraway naturals as their 3rd. Still not 100% sure why, but it is what it is. By the way, how's the audio balance? So hopefully, I don't know, like, I'm going for Koreans being a low murmur in the background while my talking is clear, but I don't know. I can't really hear game sounds though, so that seems not so good. Although I can hear in my mind the sound of probes exploding and whatnot. Anyway, this probe looks like, oh man, I thought he was going to be able to get into the main, but looks like he changed direction for some reason. I don't know if he was about to get caught or he just decided he actually preferred seeing if there was a 3rd. I mean, either way, like if he does see the 3rd over there at the bottom right, pretty much confirms there's nothing too crazy going on. Especially if he just chills for a second and sees, you know, no Hydras popping out or anything like that. So, otherwise, we're gonna have a bit of a lull here, which is perfect because I need to make some excuses here, some precast, you know, warm-up excuses like you know, like I'm lagging and stuff. Yeah, basically I just actually got back from my Christmas/New Year break. I had a 13-hour flight which landed approximately 12 hours ago. So I've had a brief nap since then, but I'm still quite severely jet lagged. So if I say anything completely retarded, that is my excuse. I'm hoping that given the abundance of KotH today, I'm at least vaguely correct in my analyses, but you know, just saying, it's gotta be safe. And it looks like the second probe was taken care of, so the Zerg's just gonna chill outside the KotH's base. Man, every time Sonic or Carrier just go like, whoa, I freak out. I'm like, oh my god, what did I miss? What did I miss? But I think they're probably just talking about something else. I seriously don't see anything out of the ordinary going on. We do see the Cybernetic core spinning though, so we're gonna get some +1 Corsairs. Pretty common to see nowadays. I think especially in these positions where you see the back of the naturals like kind of close to the Zerg, it would be a bit obnoxious to deal with any Muta shenanigans back there. But pretty much any fight positions on Fighting Spirit have a similar issue with the back of the naturals, so might as well get some Sares. Anyway, he's just gonna poke around and see nothing too crazy. There is no second gas yet though, so it's probably not going to be Mutas anytime soon. Could go for a delayed Muta though. By the way, Stratus hasn't linked the Korean version of this stream, which I'm in fact restreaming. So this is in fact Mr. Harangnaby's stream. Oh! Well, that Corsair should probably still die, as long as Terra's paying attention. But yes, many thanks to Mr. Harangnaby. I don't know if he's actually listening here, but, you know, if you see him around, be like, yo dude, thanks for the restream. That was pretty useful because Snipe wasn't working. And apparently the Scourge might not actually catch Corsair. It's gonna be a bit luck-based. And by luck-based, I mean they weren't actually even close. Where did the third Scourge go? I thought there were 3, but I only saw 2 in that group. And now we're frozen. Oh man, are we completely frozen? No, we're back. Okay, good. Good, fine. That was just a really long buffer. Wow. Okay. Anyway, as you can see, some standard SimCity going up. Second gas just now being taken, and I believe that's something at the bottom right. Likely a drone getting ready to make a hatchery. Since getting that fast fourth is the popular thing to do nowadays. Now these cores are still marauding around. Ooh, looks like they get a few Scourge kills, which is quite useful. Ah, there's actually 5 of them now, so that's why he's brave enough to move out. I didn't actually realize there were that many, because of course they were stacked. But yeah, 5+1 Sares can start to just A-move through Scourge and start taking out Overlords quite quickly as well. And you know what? I guess I'll just practice my static image casting here. This is like some caster training. Oh man, whoa! Whoa! Crazy screen changes. I hope none of you are epileptic. Man, alright, so the Corsairs killed something, and then now we're flashing over to Zealots, just poking in and not being able to do too much. I mean, this is all pretty normal here. The Zealots really shouldn't do too much if he wasn't committing to them. But he's gonna get some map control, so he's doing +1 Sarah, +1 Zealot, +1 Speed Lot, I guess I should say. And just poking around the map, and he's going to use that to secure his third base. And got some DT guys going out as well, but there are Spore Colonies in place, so I doubt they'll do too much unless he gets a shuttle out and like ferries them into the bottom right, but I don't think he has a robo yet. That would be quite fast for a robo, considering he's spending so much gas on Corsairs, as well as getting his 10-part tech. And it looks like the Scourge might get a good sandwich here. A couple of them do hit. One Corsair does go down, but the rest of the Corsairs look like they'll manage to escape here. Meanwhile, the ground force just keeping the pressure on the Zerg, forcing him to build those Sunkens, you know, not letting him get too greedy, although the 4th base has been taken already at the bottom right. And, you know, aside from the pressure, it's just a good idea to keep these Zealots on the map, because if you're too static with them, you know, you just sit around in your natural, you can just end up letting the Zerg walk across the map with some Lurkers, and then you're just kind of screwed. So, like, even if Lurkers came out about now, even a primarily Zealot heavy force, which you would think is not that effective against lurkers, if you have a lot of space in the map, they're actually decently effective. You just do kind of a fighting retreat kind of thing, like with M&M versus Lurker Ling. You just fight the lurkers when they're unburrowed. Anyway, so both these players looking like content to just head into the mid/late game here. Oh, Stratus reporting that Mr. Harangnabi is going to try and fix a lag in a second after changing rooms. I don't know what that means. Oh, does that mean like the Afrika rooms, like the stream rooms? I thought he was literally like going to a different room in his house. I was like, how could that possibly help the lag? I thought he would just like, turn off his computer and just like lift it up and take it somewhere else. That'd be a pretty hardcore way. Just like move it physically closer to the router or something. Which, shouldn't actually do anything, but it'd be pretty funny if someone tried that. Anyway, the shuttle is out now, so he's going to try and ferry some DDs here into the bottom right. As you can see, Overlord speed still actually isn't done yet, so if there's no Spore at the bottom right, this could be quite problematic. You can see a creep immediately being thrown down, but this could be really, really bad. The two DDs coming in here, a few Stewards coming in, getting one of the Corsairs. Oh, fortunately for Terra, though, there is actually a second Overlord in the back that the Corsairs were not aware of, so the DDs have to retreat, but no, both DDs are still alive. Mass Overlords coming in to try and stop this assault, but they are moving oh so slowly. Man, another Overlord built, spawned from those hatcheries. The Corsair count is dwindling, actually, and the Spore Colony does finish, and in fact, the attack is a complete disaster. Does very little damage on the ground with the DTs and loses almost his entire Corsair force. I do not think that was worth it. It was a good idea. The execution, though, was questionable, and Terror's kind of emergency defense there was pretty decent. So that did not go nearly as well as I thought. And now we're buffering. At least we saw the important part there for the buffer. Hey, and we're back. Oh, no, just kidding. Alright. Alright, back. I can hear Sonic talking. Why is the video not moving? Come on. Go. Go. I'm moving my mouse just so you can see it's not actually my stream. Wait, what's going on? I can hear Sonic talking. Is the video frozen? Stratos says the screen froze. That seems bad. By the way, why does it say 5-5 here? Oh, is that just the player count? 5 on 5? I guess that could be. Should I refresh? Somebody said refresh. That seems reasonable. Alright, F5. Does that work on these pop-out things? Oh, it does. Whoa! Now it's not going to work at all. Oh! Oh, we're still on the same screen. What are these blobs? Oh, are these are like ghost cells. Look at this. Look at this. They're like DT zealots. Whoa. All right. Apparently this is on Harangnabi's end, so refresh won't help. Whoa, my God! ×2 StarCraft. Alrighty. Anyway, it looks like neither player died during the buffer, so that's good, I suppose. It doesn't actually look like anything changed except that the armies got bigger, which is good. That's good. That's fantastic. We got some pressure going on. It seems unlikely that the Protoss army can actually break this position. It's well, it's basically Sunken Lurker Spore, even though there's a lack of spores, but pretty hard to bust across that bridge on Fighting Spirit unless you have some Reavers or just a massive army. Interestingly, whoa! Interestingly, the Protoss is taking the center. Alright, I was gonna say interestingly he's taking the 9, but taking the center is even more crazy. The funny thing is, I actually, a few months ago, I was thinking a lot about this because I did see some Protoss players like Sky do this kind of thing in PvZ. You know, instead of taking the ring expos, just go for the center, because the thing is, right, you know, it's so annoying when small groups of speedlings just, like, run around and backstab you and just, like, you know, avoid your army completely and just stop you from getting expos. And the ring expos are, you know, a little bit far away, a little bit annoying to defend in that regard, but, you know, if his main army is already pushing across the map to assault the bottom right, then that middle expo is, you know, not that far away. So I am not completely opposed to this. Like, I don't think this is necessarily a completely outlandish decision. Also because you get double gas in the middle, so if you're planning to get just a bunch of extra Archons or other nice gassy units, then that's a pretty sweet deal. Anyway, looks like the pressure is continuing to mount here. I mean, it looks like it's being somewhat okay. He's at least trading evenly, but with the Defiler here, he's almost definitely not going to break through without some Reavers. And I think he has to be careful, because if he is going to take the middle, he has to make sure that his army is, well, basically stronger than the Zergs. The whole point right now is that he's keeping the Zerg on the defensive, and that's why this middle expo is mostly safe. But if he at any point loses map control, then this would just become a very bad idea. So keeping the pressure on is good. Trading away your army, losing this map control is a big no-no. But it looks like he's just pulling back a little bit here. I do see something at the 6 o'clock. Looks like Zerg is going to respond with a base of his own. And now you see, to me, this is interesting because the resource balance here is slightly weird in that even though technically it would be 4 base versus 5 base if Zerg got the 6 o'clock, it would actually be equal gases. It'd be 5 gas against 5 gas. And I think that's a lot more important than the lower mineral value in the center base. It's really all about the gas in the late game, in my opinion. So I think this actually would favor the Protoss. Now, I think the middle geysers do have a lower gas value as well, but until you actually mine them out, it doesn't matter. So that's not going to come into play for a little while. Looks like we are going to have a bit of a backstab here, though. While the main Protoss army is held off at the bottom left, Terra's going to try and assault that base, or is he going to go 12 o'clock? No, he is going to go for the middle base here with a Defiler, so those cannons aren't going to do too much, but it looks like immediately pulling back as soon as he realized that the main Protoss army went in, and uh-oh, looks like losing control of his lurkers a little bit. Going to lose a couple of them for free. Not the end of the world, but bit of an amusing miscontrol there. Anyway, looks like the backstack army is going to try and escape. Protoss is going to try and hunt it down. It's going to be a little bit careful not to let himself get pulled out of position. That is the danger in these, well, really in any mid to late game PvZ situation, is if, you know, the Protoss generally wants to keep his army together, get a nice big strong army rolling across the map, but if the Zerg just, you know, sends small groups of units here and there, especially once he gets the Filers, it's so easy to snipe bases and whatnot. But it looks like gonna have a 3 o'clock attempt here, almost certainly going to be denied by, what's his face, Lazy. Totally forgot who was playing for a second. And yeah, that's gonna get taken care of pretty easily. Been surprised that hatchery isn't even cancelled yet. Guess just gonna chill for a little bit. There we go. And that's that taken care of. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, I think Terror does not want this 5 gas Protoss to get out of hand here, so he's got to think of something to do. But it's definitely not easy here. You see, if look at where the Protoss army is standing, just to the north of the middle expansion. So even though he's not putting on that much pressure anymore, he's still in a decent position to deny the side expansions, the 3 and the 9, and he's also not too far away from his bases. So any kind of backstab attempt or like a big drop or something can be defended fairly easily. So you see Lazy's not trying to go too crazy just yet. He seems very content to actually take this to a really late game PvZ. Although it looks like he's probably maxed out right now, so he's decided to go for an attack, or else his money's just going to go too high. He's going for the bottom left again. But see, these kind of defenses, again, you know, without a massive army advantage or Reavers, it's very hard. But just as I say that, there are the 2 Reavers, so here we go. Trying to break in here. Is it going to be enough? Where is the Defiler? There's the Defiler. Nice Plague, hitting a lot of the Dragoons. Doesn't hit either of the Reavers, I don't think, though. Crucially, I think the Reavers... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It did actually hit the north one. It was blocked by the overlay. And he gets the shuttle. I don't know if he got the other Reaver. He did get both Reavers and the shuttle with the Plague. Those, I think, are much more important, in fact, than the Dragoons. Really needs to take those Reavers down. If the Reavers go down, the defenses will hold regardless. And it looks like it's enough, though, to just push Lazy back anyway. Again, I don't think that attack was really supposed to really actually break in. I think Lazy just got maxed, and he was like, all right, I'll just poke in a little bit, since he's also taking the top right. In the meantime, looks like 1DT is going to see that this 9 o'clock base is going to be taken here. To be honest, I think Lazy could accept Terra getting 9 o'clock if he just makes sure that he gets a 3 o'clock or that it's denied, because then it'll just be basically even bases late game. And what the hell are these Hydras doing? Alright, some kind of weird control happened there. I don't know how those Hydras got to the top left, because it looks like he just, you know, Terra was just grouping his army together somewhere at the bottom right, and for some reason those Hydras started at the top left. I don't really know how that happened. I guess they came from the 9 o'clock-ish? That's a bit strange. Anyway, another poking at the bottom right, moving back and forth, killing a few units here and there. Oh, and looks like at the same time, going to do a Reaver drop here at the 9 o'clock. This could be quite effective here. That hatchery's already been damaged a little bit, and oh my god, the drone transfer happens right as the Reavers drop. Fortunately for Terra, he notices and manages actually to save half the drones there. That could have been even worse. And it looks like this hatchery, though, only has one Reaver shot left. Is it going to go down? It is going to fall. Nice little bit of control there, just sniping that last shot. Meanwhile, a big drop going to the 12 o'clock. A bit of a preemptive storm there on the Overlords. Hopefully he has 2 more storms. That is a full energy High Templar, I assume. Yes, indeed he does, but 3 storms is not going to be enough. It looks like the Reavers, are they going to come over? I believe they are plagued, so they have to be a little bit careful. They can't just waltz in by themselves. And yeah, it looks like he's going to bring in a few extra units, going to keep the Reavers back for now. But he's going to lose a decent number of these probes. Is he going to lose the Nexus? I don't think so. Storming the Nexus, I don't think that touches the Zerglings, actually. But he is going to save the Nexus, crucially, after killing the 9 o'clock. And even if he didn't, I mean, he's got both top right bases now. It looks like he might be mining already from the top right natural, and he's got the top right main Nexus building at least. But we do have Ultralisks on the field. But we have an Arbiter on the field as well. Some random ass storms on these Overlords. Is he really just going to try and hunt them down with High Templar? Yeah, that's not really helping. I hope he doesn't let that Arbiter just follow the Overlords to its doom. That would be incredibly foolish. No, he's going to pull it back. Interestingly, that does reveal that he has the Arbiter tech, although there isn't really much that the Zerg can do about it. I mean, even if he knows his Arbiter is like, well, you know, just bring some more Overlords, but that's about it. A big stasis on like 5 Ultras could be absolutely huge here. Like here, can he get a stasis? Does he have the energy? Maybe he doesn't have the energy yet. Oh, hey! Gets 3 Ultralisks. Not quite the 5 I was hoping for, but definitely good enough, and manages to crush the rest of the army here. And also note that those 3 Ultras, as soon as they come out of stasis, will be finished off by the Protoss army here. Man, Lazy is in commanding position in this game. Looks like, meanwhile, though, a few units did actually manage to get over to the top right, so they are causing a bit of damage to Lazy, but Lazy is entering into this really impossibly strong PvZ army. See, this is the kind of thing that I always talk about. You know, once the Protoss gets the giant ball rolling with Arbiters and Dark Archons and Reavers and Mass Archons and Storms, I mean, it just actually feels unfair for the Zerg in this late game situation. It's just so hard for them to actually do anything. You know, they're not like Terrans where they can EMP stuff and get rid of stuff that way, or even Protoss have like feedback and stuff. But Zergs just kind of have to take it on the chin. You know, there's literally nothing you can do to stop stasis, and especially in the late game, once you're maxed out, you can't even like really spread out your units that well to avoid it anyway. So you know, stasising 4 Ultras is pretty easy in the late game, and it's just so painful for the Zerg. Although of course Arbiters are pretty gas heavy though, so it's not like that's completely free. But still, I think it's quite nice. And you can just look at that Protoss army gathering up with lots of Archons and stuff, but it looks like a nicely timed drop in the main though. The Protoss army is completely out of position at the top right base. Very nice move by Terra here. See, this is the kind of thing he needs to do, engaging the Protoss army. And look at this, another drop at the top right as well. I think if he just right clicks on the Nexus, that might be the best course of action, although I'd imagine that Lazy is banking a decent amount of money regardless. But either way, this is the kind of stuff that Terra needs to start doing here. I don't think he can actually win straight up engagements anymore unless he has some really favorable plagues and just concaves and stuff. But this kind of, multi-pronged attack here, this is not easy to deal with as a Protoss. It doesn't matter how strong your army is. If it's not in the correct location, it doesn't matter. You can see all the gateways falling here. He's going to start losing his tech structures as well. The expensive Stargates and Arbiter Tribunals and Templar Archives, all those gas-heavy buildings going to start going down. You can see the main army is still getting stuck here, trying to come back. A random stasis on one Ultra is not going to help that much. And oh man, looks like there might be a goon even blocking units from getting back here. I saw a goon standing above the gateway. I don't know if that's actually just blocking there or something, but this is really painful because now I bet Lazy is just banking a lot of money, and since he's lost all his gateways, he's now going to have trouble producing. So if now Terra suddenly makes some moves and starts whittling down the Protoss army faster than it can be replenished, this could be a really, really nice opportunity, but that is easier said than done. I mean, there is a lot of Ultra Link here, but, Archon Reaver, Dragoon Templar just kind of wipes the floor with Ultra Ling anyway. Alright, let's see. Where is Terra gonna go? It looks like Terra... What's that drone doing over there? It looks like it might be accidentally part of the army, but it looks like he's going for a drop at the top right. Unfortunately for him, it looks like Lazy has anticipated this move and actually brought his main army back here. So if this drop actually does go in, it could be quite bad for Terra. I think he needs to wait and try and gauge where the Protoss army is before he goes for this. Looks like, he's sending a few overlords into the left. Gonna lose them to cannons a bit foolishly. But, these kinds of small miscontrols in the late game are completely acceptable, I think, given how much stuff is going on. And here we go. There's the big ground attack on the left side while the drop goes in on the right. This is exactly what I was talking about. Force the Protoss to go left. That stasis doesn't seem that useful, but anyway, here's the real attack here. That attack at the top left I don't think was supposed to do that much, mainly just to pull the Protoss army away. And there's the drop. Notice that he's not dropping too early. He's waiting until really late to make sure he can drop directly on top of the Reavers. Meanwhile, actually, this ground attack managing to go into the 12 o'clock and do a decent amount of damage to the Protoss army, really getting pulled in every which way. And Terror looks like he might be pulling this game back. I cannot believe it. I thought Lazy had got to that unbeatable late game position for Protoss, but Terror, just with some great multitasking and positional play, is taking this game. I mean, Lazy, I don't think has any production left, so he's bleeding units here. He's bleeding bases and probes, and I don't know what he can do to replenish this. And Terror, he's got his half of the map. Plenty of hatcheries to just keep pumping out those units. I don't know how much either of these players is banking. I'm sure Lazy's banking a lot. But Terra, he's still got plenty of units here. Looks like a nice stasis, grabbing 3 of those Ultras. The main Protoss army coming back. It's still decently strong, although how many Reavers are left? He lost 1 Reaver, looks like. Oh, there's still a couple of Reavers left over, okay. Meanwhile, some Scourge gonna go Arbiter hunting. Hydra's still poking down the front here. I don't know why Lazy's not rebuilding his gateways anywhere. I'm just waiting for him to start rebuilding some infrastructure, and I just don't see it. I mean, he must have some money banks, no? Unless I've just vastly overestimated his bank here, and he's actually broke. I would be quite surprised if that was the case here, but he really is not actually rebuilding his infrastructure. I don't know if he's just gonna pump Reavers or something. I mean, it's not terrible, but unless he has a few more Robos, that's not gonna be fast enough. Meanwhile, that Reaver has actually warped itself onto a Nexus and just gonna end up dying anyway. These Ultras actually coming out of stasis still doing some damage, but well, it looks like Lazy is somehow stabilized for now, and Terra's actually not the one with very little army that I can see. I thought he would actually be able to reproduce, but if you look at the minimap, his original 4 bases are actually mined out, so he's mining on the 6 and the 9, and just now taking the 3 o'clock as well. So 2, soon to be 3 bases. He's actually built a hatchery at the top right. I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't think he could actually mine there, but I suppose it will delay the Protoss Nexus there for a while. And yes, finally some gateways are being reproduced here for Lazy, but this is quite late here. Again, I really wish I could see the mineral counts, but anyway, it looks like another force going up to the top left, and actually it looks like Terra has kind of back-teched into Hydras again. Since the army counts have both dwindled a little bit, he's gone back into Hydras as once the army counts get a little bit smaller, they do become more efficient, more effective once again. I think in combination with the swarms and the plagues, they're also quite nice, and they're good for sniping reavers and all that good jazz. In the meantime, undefended Nexus at the 12 o'clock getting assaulted by a paltry Zergling and Hydralisk force. Meanwhile, looks like, oh, are we going to try and get a good plague off? No, they were just lost. Alright. Anyway, looks like the hatchery taken care of. Lazy. Whoa! We got a PP from Lazy! I bet he's just tired. This game has been pretty intense. It's been like a 35-minute game or so. And pretty exciting, I gotta say. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess Terra's in the lead right now. Yeah, especially now that he's got 3 o'clock. I'm pretty sure Terra's winning the game. But it's just like my great respect for the Imba late game Protoss tech makes me slightly on the fence. You can see a couple of okay stasis is not the well. First one only got a lurker and a Hydra, so that's not great. But see, look, it's like the Zerg can't actually fight here because he's just like, well, you know, how do I actually fight this stuff? He needs some defilers here to get some plagues and swarms down. Looks like one Arbiter does bite the dust. I don't know if the Stargates both survived to the top left in the main. Looks like no, they did not, so he has to be careful with those. He actually can't rebuild them. He would actually have to build quite a few buildings to get back there, both the Stargates and the Tribunal. And ooh, another nice plague. A couple of pigs grabbing a good amount of the Protoss army, and it looks like even though the Zerg can't attack down that ramp, the Protoss can't quite get up it either. And that's completely fine for the Zerg, in fact. Terra's happy about that. He's got a 3 o'clock, he didn't really care. As long as he can hold it, he is good to go. So Lazy is now the one in a curious position. Now remember, Lazy did get the center expansion, but he got it quite early, and it is a reduced mineral count and gas count base, so I would imagine that would be getting mined out in short order here. However, the top right base, since it kept getting killed, that's probably still a fresh base, but Terra's economy is still much stronger. Anyway, it looks like another attack going up here. Is it going to the 12 o'clock? Looks like it is, which is pretty funny because normally you'd think that the 12 o'clock, which is the Protoss' third, would be mined out by now, but it's actually not. I don't know if Lazy just didn't transfer enough probes there before or something, but whoa, nice plague again, catches quite a few things, including the shuttle. Very nice catch there. Actually, the 12 o'clock is probably close to mine out. It looks like half the patches are gone already. But anyway, oh, and here comes the Ultraling. There are 2 Reavers here as well as a few High Templar. It looks like they were getting prepared to go for a storm drop, but being dropped at the natural just in case. And oh man, this is such a brutal position for the Zerg. The buildings walling everything in, cannons supported by storms and Reavers is not very nice for the Zerg. Meanwhile, the Protoss at the same time is trying to bust up this 3 o'clock ramp, but now the Zerg, with his lurkers and defilers, can also hold his own. Meanwhile, what is this? A Reaver drop? A storm drop? What is it? It's got to do something. It's a Reaver drop, but there are Scourge there, so there's no escape for these Reavers. They just have to do as much damage as they can, which could be a significant amount. Although there is one lurker there, and there's no obs. The drones are all running away, but it looks like they will be fine. He kills his own Reaver to try and kill the lurker, but it is not enough. He still doesn't get the lurker. Interesting attempt there. It looks like Terror might have seen that and is rather amused. I assume Terror is making fun of Lazy for that attempt to beat Gosu, that failed attempt to beat Gosu, I should say. And damn, that is a lot of Ultralisks. Right, we're loading up for another drop. Are we going for the main base again? If he hits the main again, he will once again wipe out all of Lazy's gateways, and Lazy's army is looking dangerously small right now. Man, I think Terror is actually just making fun of him because Lazy was in a really good position, and just with outstanding play from Terror, really has lost this game, I would have to say at this point, even though it is certainly not over yet. It is looking quite troublesome for Lazy. You know, I think one thing that could turn this around is, like, for example, if this huge drop goes in and it suddenly like gets stasis or something, and then Lazy just camps it and kills everything without losing anything, basically wipes out an entire army for free, that could turn the game around quite quickly. But that seems like it would require a little bit of luck here. Meanwhile, it looks like, oh man, here we go, a big engagement. A good number of Archons. They need to not fight under the Swarm, though. They will not be doing maximum damage under the Swarm. A lot of Storms, though, are going to be doing maximum damage with Dark Swarm or no, and it looks like somehow he's managing to wipe out a lot of the Ultras in the front, but unfortunately for him, the Ultras in the back and the drop are effective. They are going to wipe out that Nexus for sure as the main army is engaged at the front. And oh my god, It wasn't even a full unload. Looks like something like 10 Ultralisks have been, 11 Ultralisks have been dropped on this base here. The Protoss army's trying to come back here. The Ultralisks are a little bit scattered. They're all attacking different things here. Looks like one poor Reaver is going to be left alone to die at the back, I think. No, he's not going to save the Nexus. It's a little bit too hard to break up the ramp. He does have 4 Reavers, though, which is quite nice. And the Arbiter's cloaking. The Overlords weren't there, so the Arbiter actually managed to save that Reaver. The Nexus does fall. If you can at least save the Stargate and the Tribunal, then it'll be quite nice. But this is a very important base, because other than this top right main, I'm pretty sure Lazy's all but mined out here. The middle base looks like it has just a few minerals remaining, but Lazy really needs this top right base. Otherwise, he's just going to be reduced to kind of spamming Archons and Templar and doing cute little micro saves like this. Meanwhile, the big fleet of Scourge coming in to try and take out these Arbiters as well as the shuttles. If he can do that. There's a lot of Archons here, but they're all kind of just goofing off at the top right. Lazy, I mean, the thing is, right, even if Lazy gets the top right main, Terror still has a little bit left at the 6 o'clock, and then the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock still have a lot of minerals. And oh man, a lot of mutas coming out. I don't know how great this is. There's a lot of Archons on the field. I mean, I find this slightly curious, unless he's making Guardians. Ha! Yes, he is making Guardians. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, mutas... Nope, doesn't make sense. Oh wait, he can make Guardians. There we go. Don't know why I didn't just immediately think of that. Alright, blame the jet lag. Let's blame the jet lag. I mean, I guess the fortunate... I don't want to say fortunate, because I don't think that's the right word here, but I can't think of a better word. So the fortunate thing for Lazy is that his top right natural base is already mined out anyway, so it doesn't actually matter whether if the Guardians kill that base. I mean, it kind of matters because it's providing some defense for the top right main. I'd really love to see one big stasis there. Those guys are not spread out at all. Whoa, the mass Reaver drop in the corner, though. That's going to be a pain in the butt. It looks like, since he can't get in from the top side, Lazy's going to try and bust in, or not even bust in, he's going to use his Reavers to pick off the space. There is the stasis, getting what looks like half the Guardians. If those Guardians are actually over land, the Archons can camp under them. Our Ultralisks are coming in here, but they're going to get annihilated without Dark Swarm. Oh my goodness, Terror wasting a lot of Ultralisks here. It looks like a few Ultralisks getting into the top right. Oh, there's a drop at the same time. He's going for the Nexus once again, but this is a very costly attack. Man, Terror lost a lot of Ultralisks for free in this attack, and he could lose a lot of his Guardians as well. He will get the Nexus, but he's going to lose a 3 o'clock. Suddenly, Lazy might be in control of the game once again here. Terror, after what I assume was a little bit of trash talk, could suddenly find himself in a bad position, and the 9 o'clock base now looks to me like it is getting mined out. Terror, I don't know what the hell just happened, but he may have done the reverse throw here. Oh my goodness. After doing some great play to take the game away from Lazy, is suddenly looking at essentially no income. Actually, the 9 o'clock is gone, the 6 o'clock is gone, and the 3 o'clock, the hatcheries died, and he's got like no army left because he just suicided all of his Ultralisks and almost all of his Guardians. I don't know what he's got left. A random scout is here to help hunt down these Guardians, because scouts are actually probably the most effective unit against Guardians, in fact. But this is actually pretty ridiculous here. I don't know how Terror allowed this to happen. I mean, he looked in such great control of the game for the last, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, but suddenly, he is now the one in desperate defense mode. Now, the funny thing is, we could actually, if Terror just turtles up, like super hardcore, because he did actually kill this base, you can see. So if Terror actually turtles up, and just starts conserving his units and playing a little bit more efficiently, we could just be in some kind of weird, like, mined out stalemate situation. I mean, again, it depends on how much money these players are banking. I assume which is not that much, considering that, this guy's distance mining. But that would be quite a curious position, because I don't know how many Reavers are left. It looks like there's one shuttle flying around there. If that is 2 Reavers, that could be quite crucial. See, the main like tiebreaker / like siegebreaker units are, I guess, like the Reavers and Guardians / Defilers, I suppose. Basically things that can break static defenses, right? Because normal units, like if the Zerg turtles up with Sunken Lurker Spore, you can't just suicide ground units into it, you know, Archons and Goons and Zealots, because that just won't work. You need, you know, what I call like the Siege Breaker units, like the Reavers that outrange everything. But if you don't have any of those and you end up like mined out, that just could be really bad. And Terra's actually rebuilt quite a few Ultra Link here. He's going to catch a few Dragoons on the low ground. It looks like the Lazy has actually left a decent proportion of his army defending the main. I don't know if that's just because those are reinforcements coming out of the gateways or what, but he could actually trap these Ultralisks here. Oh man, these Ultralisks could get stuck here. Terra's army could just go down the drain right here. Lazy looks like he's the one who's doing some trash talking right now. Oh no, Terror had somehow rebuilt a few more Ultras and has just lost all of them. Oh my goodness. This game is a mined out fighting spirit game, ladies and gentlemen. This is what PvZ is all about. This is why I love late game PvZ, these ridiculous situations. I'm a little bit disappointed we haven't seen a Dark Archon yet, but you know what? We saw Arbiters, so that is good enough in my book. Oh, bit of a random drop going in here. Lazy making a funny face. I don't know why he's making a funny face, because he's going to lose his Reavers. Oh, there's a drone in the drop! Oh man, look at Lazy doing the good old Reaver pickup micro, and that drop is a fail. And, well, I mean, Terror is starting mining from 3 o'clock again, so he's got income. So it's now 1 base versus 1 base, effectively. 3 o'clock versus top right main. But the Protoss army looks a lot scarier, which is the problem. Note that also Protoss has the unique advantage in that even if they have very little mineral income, because gas geysers, like even if they're depleted, you can still mine from them. So you always get constant gas income, and so you can just keep making Archons. Like if you just in the super late game, if you're in these kind of low eco situations, you can just play conservatively. You know, try not to waste too many minerals and just make a lot of Archons, and then you know you can kind of be super efficient that way in the late game. And man, he's gotta be careful though. If you lose that shuttle with 2 Reavers, again, the Reavers are the Siege Breakers here. Although, given that there's very few Lurkers there and very few units in general. Although, actually, there's a decent number of Hydras being remade. And note that the Hydras, if he can somehow pick off the Reavers, there's not that many High Templar left. And Archons are actually not, or rather, Hydras are pretty efficient against mass Archons. So that could be quite good. Although, actually, no, there are, it looks like 3, maybe 4 High Templar. Okay, so never mind that. And presumably they all have the energy upgrade and all that good jazz. Man, is he actually doing like shuttle micro on Goons to save them? That's pretty cute. Anyway, this breakdown of the 3 o'clock could be it here. I think Terra's going to wait until the last possible moment and then go in with like all of those reinforcement units and try and just crush this Protoss army. And it could be effective. He does have quite a lot of Hydras. Although this could be a good storm drop. Oh! Where is the second storm? Why is there no second storm there? Why? Why was there no second storm? That could have just killed every single drone. Well, I guess it just died. Maybe it had no energy. That'd be a bit silly. Anyway, it looks like the Protoss army is coming back to do something. I think he was slightly scared of a backstab in his main because he still has some gateways there. But he has rebuilt some gateways to the top right as well. So now if he loses his main, it's not good, but he still has production at least. And damn, he has a lot of Archons. Now, interestingly, I did mention that you can still mine from depleted geysers, but his natural expansion and his, well, both the naturals he took don't actually have nexuses there, or at least I don't see any probed mining gas at the top right natural, so he's not getting the most he could from that. But it doesn't really matter. And whoa, this could be it. The Protoss army is not together. It's not in position. The Reaver is crucial here, but the Reaver has no shuttle, it looks like, and it's in the back. Oh man, the Reaver's getting targeted down by the Hydras. The Reaver's gonna fall quickly, but the Storms, though, if the Storms are good, it's not gonna matter. The Storms are crucial here. Mass Hydra, I think, will beat Mass Archon Goon. It's all about the Storms. Where are the rest of the High Templar? It looks like, are there enough Hydras to actually take this down? It looks like he's taking down a lot of the Archons here. Oh man! Terror switching back into Hydras is making this work here. Oh my god, he's just mowing down the Archon force like it is nothing. Taking down the last Reaver, but it doesn't look like it's enough. It looks like it was such a good effort. He took out so much of the Protoss force. But is it enough though? Because the Protoss army is still standing. It looks like though he's reinforcing with more Hydras. He's taken down almost every single Archon. There is only 1 Archon left out of like 12. What a great back switch by Terror. Realizing that now was the time. I think that drop, that suicide storm drop by Lazy was a terrible mistake because that left his Reavers completely open like that and allowed that to happen. If he'd had a shuttle there to keep both Reavers alive, it would have been way more difficult for those Hydras to pull a move like that. But as it is, I now have absolutely no idea who is going to win this game. I think Terra's... well, I don't know if Terra's actually ahead anymore because I don't know how you can actually break down, you know, turtling Reaver cannon defense with just Hydras anyway. So even though this army is good at running around and sniping Archons and whatnot, it's still a little bit tricky to actually attack bases with. But I don't know why Lazy's being so aggressive here. He's got to be careful. He doesn't have that much stuff to be taken on mass Hydra like this, especially if its goons get plagued. Oh man, great plague. Oh no, he does have an a Reaver coming in the back. That's going to help a lot. And it looks like Lazy actually is going to press the issue. He's got to be careful. These Hydras can be efficient. Oh man, but it looks like, wow, Lazy has actually just rebuilt 1 billion Dragoons. Not the unit I would have expected to see at this late juncture of the game, but somehow it is effective, at least for the time being. Well, I say effective, but I think it's more of a fact that he just had way more stuff. I think in terms of the actual efficiency, it is not that great. Someone's mentioning that I should turn down the Korean a little bit more. I can do that. I can do that. I certainly can. Anyway, got a random defiler trying to skedaddle home. Not quite going to make it. I'm still a little bit confused by this choice to go goons, though. I mean, it looked quite good there, but like if you think about it, how are goons good against anything late game? Like, they're not good against Hydras. They're not good against Lings. They're okay against Ultras if there's no Dark Swarm. But, you know, Plague really hurts them, and you know, they don't do anything under Swarm. I mean, they're not the greatest late game unit, although given the lack of much of anything on Terra's part, it might be okay. One thing they are decent at, though, is breaking down Sunken colonies, so that might be one reason he got them. Well, breaking down Lurkers and Sunkens, I suppose, with no Dark Swarm to support. And it looks like just a bunch of stasis is going off on Overlords, I guess. It looks like he's trying to get his stuff cloaked to try and just run up the ramp, but, well, no, maybe not, because there is a Spore colony there, so that doesn't make any sense either. I don't know why he wasted those stasis on those Overlords. Perhaps it was that kind of idea. But yeah, look at this. The goons are actually managing to break down the static defense. I mean, you know, the game is just so weird that that everything I thought I understood about late game PvZ kind of is a little bit just not making any sense anymore because GG by Terror. Lazy takes it down in the end. Oh my god. Lazy wins after all. Terror getting himself, well, first he got himself into a tricky position after Lazy took the middle expo, and then with some great multitasking, multi-pronged attack with drops